Michael Rickley-Lancaster, the curator from the Textile Museum in Almonte. How are you?
I'm very good. I'd like to introduce my friend, volunteer of the museum as well, Roberta Morant. She's a master weaver, and she's going to talk along with me today about the artwork that we're going to see.
Oh, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
And you have two exhibitions going on.
Yes.
Right now we are going to talk about Maximo
Yes.
from Peru.
Yes, we're very excited to have Maximo exhibit here at the Mississippi Valley Textile Museum in Almont. Wonderful work. I mean, I can speak more to the beautiful art that he creates. The colors are just extraordinary. The way he does his blending of colors, lights to darks. When you get up close, you see where he's done his combinations. They're just gorgeous. But also his layering of different weave over weave is just beautiful. And the stories he's telling of the history and culture of Peru are just beautiful. And the way he's telling it in this beautiful, to me, almost cartoon-like or animated fashion is just gorgeous.
And how many pieces do you have?
We have 20 pieces on display.
The artist will not be
No.
here, and there will be a vernissage on the 27th
Yes.
of August. Would you like to give me a tour?
Okay. Well, you can see there's a really wide range of his pieces, and every piece is so different from each other. When you look at the color, but also the style within, and just the thematic of each piece. A lot of the pieces, I mean, this one, for example, has human figures in it, but it also has fish-like figures and abstract figures along with that tell the story. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, the color combinations are wonderful. I think it's just a beautiful piece altogether and really pulls together well. There's another piece I'd love to show you over here. This one I find really gorgeous. I think, for one, you see these absolutely striking, I say bright colors. It is a little darker than the rest of the pieces, but to me it's like deep sea water. You've got these bright colors, but then you've got this darkness, but you've got like light cascading through. And it really gives you that feeling of deep sea. And the beautiful fish images captured in it. Just gorgeous.
What would you like to say about this piece?
I am, as a weaver, I am most interested in the technique that he uses. You do know that he is considered to be Peru's national living treasure. He is 5 generations of weavers. And he did study art in university, and because he can use the traditional images along with the very modernistic approach, that his pieces are both traditional and modern. He uses floor loom, which is not usual for tapestry weavers.
Would you like to show it to me? To focus more on the piece? Yes. Yes.
Tapestry weavers will usually weave on upright looms, so that when you are weaving your piece, you are looking at the piece as it's hung, whereas he looks down on his piece because his loom is a floor loom. And all of his additions, all of the textures are all intricately laid on the top and woven in so that everything is integrated. And if you look at the back of the tapestries, that you can tell that that's how he does it.
Can we turn it a little bit, the tapestry, to see how it looks at the back? Yeah.
Now it is. Here we have a surface piece, and on the back you can see that piece is still intricately woven in, as opposed to being just laid on the top and attached. So when you look at his pieces and you see the three-dimensional aspect of it, and you see him working on his loom, you understand that all of this is all intricately woven as opposed to being added afterwards or embellished.
Oh, thank you so much. Mr. Rickley-Lancaster, the next piece would be, there's one here, I believe.
Yeah, sure. This one I find quite gorgeous in its colors. You have the very striking snakes and foxes and different images throughout, but then the background is almost, I'd hate to say muted, but it's more of a earthy tones to really, so it makes the animals and creatures in the tapestry really stand out.
And his tapestries are very busy.
Oh yes, very animated, very full of life.
Yes. Do you know what inspires him besides the roots of who he is, the history? I'm assuming nature.
Any ideas, Roberta?
I'm sorry, could you repeat it?
What inspires the artist?
Oh, I think the history of the weaving in his family and to retell and to keep current the culture and the stories from his culture. There's not much written about what each individual tapestry means, so it's hard for us in our culture to interpret what the meanings are exactly. It would be wonderful to have him interpret his they're much like our own native Indian, like Neville Morrisseau, who painted his culture and really needed to be interpreted by someone from that culture.
The first things that stand out for me in this piece are the blues and the greens. They really pop. I think he's done a gorgeous job, again, blending the blues and greens to make them really stand out. All colors stand out gorgeous in this one, but those ones stand out particularly to me. Any comments, Roberta?
Well, he uses a Peruvian alpaca to do his weaving, and he does it, and he has all of his colors dyed. And because the alpaca will take up the dye so well, this is one of the reasons that the color gradations are so wonderful.
And what about the technique? Would you like to come closer to this one? The weaving technique?
Oh, okay, no, this is not, there is a better one that we should focus on
Sure.
for the technique.
Yes, where is that one?
That one would
Can
be
we
over
go?
here. Yes,
Can
we
we
can
go?
go.
Yes.
Mhm.
Again, the fish shows
Yeah.
up a lot in his
Yes.
work.
And,
Nature.
and again, how you get that bright, just in the center part, you get this like really focused bright section, and it's just gorgeous.
It is. And you told me that he uses floor looms.
Yes, he does.
Is that a typical Peruvian style? Or it's his style?
It's his style.
It's his style.
I think that most tapestry weavers like to weave on uprights as opposed to a floor loom.
And what makes him, prefer the floor loom?
It's just his style. I don't know why he chooses it. When you are weaving these kinds of tapestries, there is a process, and the process is that you make a line drawing first. And then what he does is he puts the line drawing through the computer and adds color to the line drawing. Then he makes another line drawing that is the actual size of the tapestry he's going to make. And then that line drawing is transferred to the warp. His warps are white, so the lines are drawn onto the warp. He can then follow those lines looking at the computer color chart that he's made and blend his colors so he knows where the colors go. And this is a good example here of all the top surface techniques that he uses, the raise techniques, this will be an added bunch of threads underneath there that are all wrapped and then woven intricately
And it
into
gives
the
it
design.
a bit of a three-dimensional
Yes, it does.
look. Is this Maximo Laura's first exhibition here?
At the Textile Museum, yes. It's his first time showing here.
Beautiful. And next piece would be the one here?
The pieces are all, it's hard to describe each individual piece. They do depict his culture. I particularly like the horse or donkey image in this one. You can hear it braying when you look at it.
There's also this fantastic imagery. It's like a mythical.
Yes. Mythical, each one tells a story. And you can really see the story when you see each piece, and you have to see them in person. They're just fabulous. It's the colors, you can see music, you can see just this whole folklore or storytelling in each piece.
They all seem to be the same size.
Yes.
Did he select them for this exhibition to be the same size, or that's how he works?
I have no idea.
Well, for the most part, a lot of tapestries are, the size is determined by the size of the loom that you're working on. So since most of these are of the same width, then, which means that they are all basically woven on the same kind of loom. Now, they can be longer or shorter, depending on the design, but I find that these are pretty much all the same width, meaning that it would be on a 36-inch loom.
The one behind you, I can see figures from their history.
Yes. Yes.
You can see them playing music, and so you can hear the music when you're looking at the piece, and you can just imagine them dancing, and it looks like a celebration.
And I don't know how many times I've looked at this and just realized that there are pipes at the bottom.
Yes, which is a typical Peruvian.
food.
Yes.
Yes. And I particularly like the headdresses on this. Looks like there's a party going on.
Is tapestry a major skill of practice in Peru?
No, I would think that tapestry would be the exception. The most likely textiles that come out of Peru are clothes, woven in cotton, batik type dyeing, but tapestry, I think, is extraordinary.
Mr. Rickley-Lancaster, his tapestries are very bright. The contrasts are so vivid. At the same time, I'm seeing the same colors, the same kind of combinations.
Yeah.
Does he favor this type of combinations?
It seems as though he does in all of his work. He favors it, but it's what's exciting about it, in each piece it looks so different. Even though they are the same combinations, the same contrasts, they show so differently in each piece.
Do you know, does he dye his own materials?
He has them dyed. I don't,
Yes.
but he has control over the colorways that are dyed. If you go to his website, you will see some wonderful pictures of butterflies already made in 6, 8 shades of blue. So he can pick up and choose any color at any time that he wants to weave with, because he has the choice.
Beautiful. And some of them seem to be part of a series. For example, this one and this one, they are so related.
When we received the boxes, we pulled them out and put them together as we felt they worked together. So that was kind of our choice as curating the show. We pulled it together the way we felt. We really enjoyed. It was really an exciting day pulling out these pieces. They're just fabulous. But then being able to to put them together the way we felt they worked together, and I think we've done a fantastic job at that. I think they really sing together, they swim together, and it's just a gorgeous marriage of pieces.
Yes, in fact, I thought they were part of a series as you arranged them.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And what about here? We didn't really look at the titles of.
Right.
We let the audience
Yes.
come up with their own story.
That's good, yes. Again, you see in this one, you see musical instruments, you see fish, definitely a sea celebration of some sort, absolutely gorgeous. You get that underwater feel with the blues and greens surrounding the piece, but then the beautiful, striking pop of color in the center of the piece. Just of the warm pinks and reds and oranges that just pop. He just blends those oranges, reds, and pinks so well. And same with the blues and greens, but then there's the hints of other colors in there. And this one is a gorgeous showcase of how he blends those colors so well.
And he does love music. The musical instruments are whistles.
It's a common theme through the
flutes.
pieces. But the colors also are the colors that you associate with South America, I think. Hot, warm colors.
I see a mythical dimension. Do you think we are also seeing a spiritual dimension?
I would think so, because the emphasis on keeping his stories alive, and their stories are wound so in with their spiritual life, and I would think so.
This looks slightly different from
It
the
does.
others.
This one, you can hear the drums, you can hear the instruments playing. It looks like a dance or a ritual again, and definitely has a spiritual feel. Very different from the others in the fact that it's all warm colors. It's all the oranges and yellows and reds just blended in, so gorgeous, and blacks around the edges. Beautiful piece, but very different from the others, because most of the other pieces have cool colors and warm colors pulled into it.
Beautiful. Our next piece would be
Straight ahead.
this one.
I think that this piece is a contrast, especially in color, to the rest of the pieces, where he's used reds and greens, which are opposites, as opposed to colors that are side by side on a color wheel.
You mentioned that he uses the computer to do the charts.
Yes.
It's interesting how these days we are dependent on the computer even to make the charts for.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it's exciting to see how people progress with technology, and what creations come out of that, and how much more you can do. It's exciting to see traditional, but it's exciting to see that inspiration of technology coming into work as well.
And here we have, there's two sizes, one a bigger one and a smaller one.
This one again, I mean, you can see a lot of the same kind of stories in this piece. Again, you see the fish, and you see musical instruments, all kind of that under the sea kind of feel. Absolutely stunning, again, with colors, and both pieces really have that same kind of story throughout the pieces. The beautiful flow of the movement of the fabric, and the way he's done his movement in here of the rounding of the edges, and just how the whole piece moves.
I am wondering what the fish and this marine life, water life, means in his tapestry.
Any thoughts?
I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to interpret the artist when you haven't met the artist and you haven't spoken to him. One of the things that I like about these two pieces is that they both have the same theme, except this one is very textured, very raised, and this one is very flat. But they they are basically the same thing, giving you the same kind of feeling.
And do I see an eye here?
Yes.
So definitely there are subliminal messages.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what the philosophy of the artist is, but obviously it's poured into his art. There's more. Oh, yeah, there's one here.
There's this one here. This one here is very warm. He's used all warm colors in this piece. Absolutely gorgeous. The vibrant reds. It's just so striking. Again, you've got a different creature happening in this one. Not quite fish-like, more almost bird-like creatures in this one with their beaks. And also some human-like figures in there as well.
Lots of birds in this one.
Yes. This one again, I don't know if we've been to this one yet or not, I can't recall.
No.
It's one of my favorite pieces in the fact that, again, you have such contrast in color combinations. The reds and oranges strikingly against the blues and greens, absolutely just gorgeous. And I love all the pinks in there. It's just fantastic. And this one has more of an abstract feel than any of the others we've looked at. You do see a couple of animal figures in there, but not a lot. It's a lot more abstract than the others.
What about the technique in this one? Would you like to come closer? Again, he has used the flat techniques of tapestry weaving here with just this absolutely amazing color going on, and then he has used again all this top surfacing here to make the images come out towards you to give that three-dimensional effect. I love the way that so many tapestries have embellishments that are sort of laid on the top. I really like the idea that he has actually woven all of these embellishments into the piece as opposed to them just sitting on top.
Beautiful. This is an amazing exhibition.
Yes.
I think we covered, is there, did we leave out any?
No, I think we've covered every piece.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we're moving to the Coptic dancers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Rickley-Lancaster, the curator at Textile Museum in Almonte, is with me today. Mr. Rickley-Lancaster, thank you so much for being with us today. You have an exhibition going on right now. It ends in 2 days.
Yes.
What is the name of this exhibition?
Transitions exhibition by Soul Play.
Soul Play is the name of a group
Yes.
of artists.
Yes.
Would you like to show me around?
I would.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful mix of works. We have anything from beautiful stitching and creative stitching with the machines, making beautiful, becoming a part of the artwork, the stitching, with the colors and fabrics that are used. But I just love the stitching in some of the work, how it becomes a part of the work as well. If you look at the history of stitching, it was a part of making something physically usable within your home, whether it be reusing fabrics. But these are using stitching to make art. And the stitching is a part of that work, but using those beautiful, colorful fabrics that are out there now. It's a wonderful, beautiful translation of traditional work made into something contemporary.
You have been working with the textile artists for a long time.
Yes.
What draws you so much to textile?
Well, for me, I love textiles because, again, it's back into that history. Textiles are a part, and current, it's a part of everyday life. And the fact that people use that in such creative ways in current, but looking at the history of how people used fabric, but the fact that we use it every day and don't seem to even realize how important fabric is in our daily lives.
Amazing. Would you like to show me some of the work that you have here?
Sure.
And give us the names of the artists.
Sure. I specifically, this piece is wonderful by Anne Dunlop. Again, it's called Transitions. Beautiful piece. I love the stitching in this work is fabulous. And then the way it's been painted over top, and it really enhances the detailing of the stitching behind.
Amazing. Anne Dunlap, she's been around for a long time.
Yes.
You have collaborated with her for
Yes.
many years now.
Yes.
Do you have a piece that you feel more attached to, or they are all the same?
To me, they're all wonderful. I mean, Anne has done this fabulous large piece over here, which I really love. To me, it's like looking through a stained glass window. But you're looking at this wonderful landscape out that window. It's absolutely gorgeous, or like a Gothic window of a church or something. Beautiful scene that has been created. It's wonderful to show it during the Blois winter months. Again, gorgeous with the colors and how she's using the technique of quilting and stitching, but creating this absolutely gorgeous piece that takes you somewhere else.
Amazing. Who is the next artist?
The next
Artist in the exhibition.
Yes.
So we started with Anne Dunlap.
Here we have Barbara Carroll. And what I like about her work is she's really telling a story, and I'm assuming it's about herself. A self-exploration through her work. But the stitching, again, I go back to stitching because I love stitching. The stitching in this is phenomenal. You see such detail in the stitching, but you see her personality coming through the work and the exploration of her personality coming through. Again, beautiful colors as well, and a play with the fabric.
Amazing. Do you also work with textile, or you curate?
I curate, yeah.
You're blessed
I love it.
to see so much beauty around you.
Yes.
I find that women are more attracted to textile work than men, or do you also have men artists?
There are a few, not near as many as women, but we do occasionally have a male artist come through the museum, and it's interesting to see the differences in their work compared to women's work in general.
You actually have one man coming in summer,
Yes.
Mr. Laura,
Yes,
from Argentina, I believe.
yes. And his work is very different because he's kind of exploring the traditions of his culture, but in an edgy way within his woven tapestries.
Beautiful. Can we see another artist?
Here we have Sharon Collins. And this is a beautiful piece. They're really, to me, they read as one piece, but she shows them as each individual pieces. Fall fields, frosty, and then we have summer hills and spring blush. But it's beautiful. It takes you into, again, a scenery, but each one, you feel that scene. You feel that different season.
Textile Museum in Almonte is really a unique, however, I find it doesn't get the exposure that, do you feel the same way?
Yes. Well, I feel we're in a transition with the museum. We've been in a time of growth in the past 5 years. One, getting the building to a physical place that it can be used year-round, and that's where my focus has been drawn. But I'm in the process of planning the next 5 years, and it's going to be really exciting. We have big exhibitions coming in. I'm right now planning one from Japan in a few years. So there's some really big shows going to be coming in, and I think we are going to grow and get more publicity and get more people through the door.
Oh, good news.
Yes.
Thank you. And what do we have here?
This again is Sharon Collins. I absolutely love this group of four. Again, it's depicting the seasons, but beautiful how it's the exact same pattern, but it really transforms each piece with the colors again and the stitching of the horizontal lines. I think it really creates a beautiful scene for each one. They really can stand on their own, but they look gorgeous together as a piece of four.
And it's interesting how some artists, they like landscapes,
Yeah.
Others, they like different things.
Abstract or yes.
Yes, abstract. What do you like?
I love a mix of both. I'm a little more into exploration in art, more so than a landscape. But to me, these landscapes are gorgeous because they're taking it away from a traditional landscape. So I really enjoy that. I absolutely adore this piece. This is probably one of my favorites in the piece. Again, it's Sharon Collins, or in the exhibition, it's again Sharon Collins. gorgeous piece. Again, it's trance red, trance orange, trance blue, trance yellow, and trance green. Absolutely a gorgeous piece. I would hate to see it separated. I think it just looks so gorgeous, the six together. I think it's just a stunning piece, especially from a distance. You really get those colors and the movement of the colors. And I think it just stands as a gorgeous piece together. And the colors that are used just are fantastic. And just the way it reads together. I was, once we hung it, I was just blown away how well it moves and how it reads. I think it's just a gorgeous piece.
It is a very dynamic
Yes.
piece of art. What else do we have here?
What we have, when we go into this section, the group had a lot of fun in this, with these pieces here. Each one did a piece on a basic theme. I'm trying to recall, this one's titled Glacier, this one's untitled, and then here we have Angline Lane, if I'm saying that correct, Breaking Free, and Ocean. And it's a beautiful collaboration of a group of pieces where they work together to inspire each other to create these pieces.
And again, we get the more abstract styles here.
And I mean, Ocean there is gorgeous. You really see that stitching is what makes the piece. The colors are gorgeous, but then once that stitching has been done, oh, it just makes the piece, it makes the flow of the ocean or the water.
Yes.
And that one Ocean is done by another artist that I haven't mentioned yet, Carolyn Gibbs. And it's just gorgeous how she really, really plays with stitching in that piece. And I like the movement of the stitching really makes the piece to get the idea of ocean.
How do you see the future of textile art?
See, the future, I think, is getting more and more creative, and a lot of people are using those old techniques, or like there's a resurgence, I know, of knitting right now, and a lot of those old traditional household to make your socks or make your whatever you used on regular daily basis is coming into art, and people are really experimenting with those old traditions, but doing something really edgy with it. And I find that really exciting, and I see that's more and more of a movement that direction.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We have a few more artists here.
Again, this is Anne Dunlop. A beautiful scene, but the wonderful oranges in there. And just when you get up close and see the stitching in this piece, it's just phenomenal. It's almost over the top in the stitching, which is just makes the piece.
What a beautiful piece of wilderness.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And here we have a couple, I mentioned Carolyn Gibbs. These are a couple of gorgeous pieces of hers. And again, this is interesting because she's experimenting using found objects and mixed media beading, shells. I really quite enjoy this because she's experimenting within her work, but it's also a layering of the stitching, but then over top of that you have layering of other fabrics and then layering of beading, so it really gives a three-dimensional and intriguing look at working with fabric in different ways.
And here she worked with shells.
Yes.
Amazing. Do you have a secret passion for arts, painting, or?
Really, I'm mainly, my passion's more into the fibers and the textiles. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've always had a draw for. What I like about it is seeing the differences in the work. I studied fine arts as my background, and what I like about fiber and textiles is people are starting to really experiment more and more with that. And I really enjoy that, and people are working with textiles as though they're drawings or paintings, and really experimenting, whether through weaving, knitting, stitching. There's a real difference there in what people are playing with, and I really, really enjoy that because it's not something that's quite as noticed as a lot of other works, and that's partly why I like it. It's kind of the underdog in a lot of ways, and I really like to see it grow and more people explore that.
Oh, that's for sure. Thank you. And we saw this window. And
then here we have 3 more pieces. These two are Carolyn Gibbs. This one here is Joanne Zorzi. It's absolutely a gorgeous piece. I love, again, the layering here in here of the fabrics, but also again, you see a lot of the stitching which enhances the piece. You see the beautiful silvery stitching in here, which makes that tree just pop out and gives it that final step of wow to the piece. It's absolutely a gorgeous piece, and just that layering of the shimmery kind of felted feel of fabric. It's just beautiful.
And she works primarily with silk.
Yes.
Amazing.
And another piece here. Again, this one is titled Nocturnal Voyage. Absolutely wonderful in how it's really giving you that feel of night, but again, it has that shimmer of the silks throughout, but it's taken on a whole new life with the felting of the silk and the beautiful lines that draw you in to that bridge.
Beautiful. You are so passionate about what you do. I believe we have presented all the
Yes.
artists. Mr. Rickley-Lancaster, thank you so much for being with us
You're
today.
welcome.
And I invite everyone to come to the Textile Museum in Almonte on Rosamond.
Number 3 Rosamond Street in Elmont, and we're located in an 1870s National Historic Site, which used to be a part of a woolen mill complex.
Oh, thank you very much again.
Thank you.